Hi, my name is Marisa Sikes, and I'm a professor in the Languages and Literature Department at Austin Peay State University. Today, I'm talking to you from my home office, which by the time self-isolation is over, I anticipate will have been completely redecorated by my toddler. But speaking of quarantine and the coronavirus, I want to talk to you today about Beloved, which is a novel by Toni Morrison. Now, this is a novel that I was introduced to in high school, and I've come back to it over and over during my life, especially when things seem hard. If you don't know anything about the novel, it is a novel about Setha, who is a mother and a former slave, and it's about her relationship with her daughters and her mother-in-law and with lots of people about her, actually. But the person that I want to talk to you about from the novel is Baby Suggs. And Baby Suggs is Setha's mother-in-law, and she's also a holy woman. And Toni Morrison's words say things better than I can, so I just want to read you an excerpt from this novel and then say a couple words about it. 124 had been a cheerful, buzzing house where Baby Suggs, holy, loved, cautioned, fed, chastised, and soothed. It was in front of that 124 that Setha climbed off a wagon, her newborn tied to her chest, and felt for the first time the wide arms of her mother-in-law who had made it to Cincinnati, who decided that because slave life had busted her legs, back, head, eyes, hands, kidneys, womb, and tongue, she had nothing left to make a living with but her heart, which she put to work at once, accepting no title of honor before her name, but allowing a small caress after it. She became an unchurched preacher, one who visited pulpits and opened her great heart to those who could use it. Uncalled, unrobed, unanointed, she let her great heart beat in their presence. When warm weather came, Baby Suggs, holy, followed by every black man, woman, and child who could make it through, took her great heart to the clearing, a wide open place cut deep in the woods, nobody knew for what, at the end of a path known only to deer, and whoever cleared the land in the first place. In the heat of every Saturday afternoon, she sat in the clearing while the people waited among the trees. After situating herself on a huge flat-sided rock, Baby Suggs bowed her head and prayed silently. The company watched her from the trees. They knew she was ready when she put her stick down. Then she shouted, "Let the children come!" And they ran from the trees toward her. "Let your mothers hear you laugh," she told them. And the woods rang. The adults looked on and could not help smiling. Then, "Let the grown men come," she shouted. They stepped out one by one from among the ringing trees. "Let your wives and your children see you dance," she told them, and ground life shuddered under their feet. Finally, she called the women to her. "Cry," she told them, "for the living and the dead. Just cry." And without covering their eyes, the women let loose. It started that way, laughing children, dancing men, crying women, and then it got mixed up. Women stopped crying and danced. Men sat down and cried. Children danced. Women laughed. Children cried, until, exhausted and riven, all and each lay about the clearing, damp and gasping for breath. In the silence that followed, Baby Suggs, holy, offered up to them her great, big heart. She told them that the only grace they could have was the grace they could imagine, that if they could not see it, they would not have it. "Here," she said, "in this here place, we flesh that weeps, laughs, flesh that dances on bare feet in grass. Love it hard. Yonder, they do not love your flesh, they despise it. They don't love your eyes, they just as soon pick 'em out. No more do they love the skin on your back, yonder they flay it. And oh my people, they do not love your hands. Those they only use, tie, bind, chop off and leave empty. Love your hands. Love them. Raise them up and kiss them. Touch others with them, pat them together, stroke them on your face, because they don't love that either. You got to love it. You. And no, they ain't in love with your mouth. Yonder out there, they will see it broken and break it again. What you say out of it, they will not heed. What you scream from it, they do not hear. What you put into it to nourish your body, they will snatch away and give you leave-ins instead. No, they don't love your mouth. You got to love it. This is flesh I'm talking about here. Flesh that needs to be loved. Feet that need to rest and to dance. Backs that need support. Shoulders that need arms, strong arms, I'm telling you. And oh, my people out yonder, hear me. They do not love your neck unnoosed and straight. So love your neck. Put a hand on it. Grace it. Stroke it and hold it up. And all your inside parts that they just as soon slop for hogs. You got to love them. The dark, dark liver, love it. Love it. And the beat and beating heart, love that too. More than eyes or feet, more than lungs that have yet to draw free air, more than your life-holding womb and your life-giving private parts, hear me now. Love your heart, for this is the prize. Saying no more, she stood up then and danced with her twisted hip the rest of what her heart had to say, while the others opened their mouths and gave her the music. So this passage of Beloved is significant to me because even though it's a dark passage, or it's haunted by dark things, it's haunted by slavery, by the abuse of slaves in the American South, it's also a passage that is about finding oneself and finding self-acceptance. It's about purgation of emotions. It's about finding community. And perhaps inappropriately for the pandemic, it's about touching and enjoying one's physical body, especially when that body has been stigmatized and used against one over and over again, right? So I think that ultimately the lesson that we can draw from this passage and from Beloved itself and from other of Toni Morrison's books, like Song of Solomon, we can learn what it means to be human. And in these books, we can find people modeling humanity. Baby Suggs is a model of humanity, and she's a model of nurturing. And what I would say to everyone is be kind to yourselves, which is really what Baby Suggs is preaching about. And I would also say be kind to each other. This is a horribly stressful time. So take care of yourself, take care of other people as much as you can. Wash your hands, and we'll get through this. We will get through this. Thanks.